What is real power? Not will, but awake presence. In the modern world, power is often equated with toughness, resilience, fighting to the end. We are taught to strain, to overcome, to control everything. But Yogananda, like a breath of wind from the Himalayas blowing into the world, demystifies this concept. You think you have to exert yourself to be strong. But the soul does not need strength to be itself. True power is to abide in your divine nature, and not be pulled away by the world. Power is not pushing away from life. Power is the ability to stay with it without being swallowed up. Yogananda calls it the unshakable consciousness in the midst of turmoil, where, even if there is a storm outside, you are still a calm lake inside. Presence, the source of all power. Power does not come from a will that you try to force. It comes from a deep presence, where you know that you are not your emotions, your circumstances, or your fluctuating mind. Presence is the ability to slow down your breathing in the midst of conflict. Observe your thoughts instead of reacting. See your fear without letting it drive your life. Act from within rather than panic. When you are present enough, you have nothing to prove. The words you speak are powerful. The look you give is healing. Yogananda. The thing that blocks your power, it's not karma, it's identification with illusion. In our religious classes, books, and rituals, we often hear about karma as a chain of fate. But Yogananda turns that around with a deeper truth. It's not karma that binds you. It's identification with what you are not that makes you forget the infinite power that flows within you. Identification, the invisible trap of the soul. You are not weak, but you believe you are. You are not sinful, but you attach your identity to old mistakes. You are more than the body, but you identify with the form that is changing every day. And from there, you begin to live as a programmed copy. Believing that you are not enough. Fearing abandonment. Always trying to be worthy of love, success, peace. But the truth is, you were worthy before you knew the concept of worthy. You were strong before you felt weak. The first step to breaking identification, looking at yourself with the light of your true self. Yogananda does not ask you to change yourself. He simply invites you to stop and ask a question that can shatter all illusions. Who was I before I believed I was a victim? What was I before I called myself a failure, a wound, a past? No immediate answer is needed. Just stay with the question, deeply enough, and the layers of identification will begin to fall off like autumn leaves. Methods of awakening power: breath, silence, presence. You do not need to ask God for power. He has placed it in you since you were pure light. The only thing you need to do is stop and realize. Paramahansa Yogananda. Power does not need to be built, it needs to be unclouded. And to do that, Yogananda gives us 3 doors. Breath, the electric current that connects body, mind, and soul. Breath is more than just air. It is prana, the divine life force that runs the entire universe and your body. Breath is the soul moving through the body. Every time you breathe unconsciously, you disconnect from your inner power. Every time you breathe presently, deeply, and gratefully, you are grounding yourself back into the divine source. Practice. Sit still, spine straight, hands resting lightly on knees. Inhale slowly through the nose, 4 counts, hold gently, 2 counts, exhale through the mouth, 6 counts. Repeat 12 times, while silently saying, I breathe in the universal life force. I breathe out all false limitations. Silence, the space where all power awakens. Yogananda said. Silence is not a void. Silence is where God enters. In meditation, when you stop trying, stop thinking, stop desiring, you enter the pure space, where all power returns to its original source. That's when you stop trying to meditate, you become meditation. You stop looking for power, you return to it. Practice. After breathing correctly, sit still for 5 to 10 minutes. No mantras. No mind control. Just silently know, I am present. And that is enough. Presence, the fertile soil where the soul blooms. Presence is not a lofty concept. It is the ability to live in the moment, without falling into automatic reactions. When you are present deeply enough, you listen without defensive reflexes. You look without labeling. You live without being dominated by the ego. God does not come through rituals. He comes through the moment when you are completely present. Yogananda. Practice. During the day, choose one daily activity: washing hands, drinking water, walking. Do it as if it were the most sacred act in the universe. For example, when drinking water, see the glass of water as a miracle. When washing your hands, be grateful for the water as it is washing away old energy. In this way, presence becomes a living meditation, no need to sit, no need to wait. Signs of a person who has awakened the power within. True power does not come with a roar or a show. It comes in silence, and remains as an undercurrent, a quiet, unstoppable flow. Yogananda emphasized, a person with true inner power needs no demonstration. He radiates peace like a fragrance, natural, deep, healing. Here are the signs that you are returning to the infinite power of the soul. 1. You no longer react, you choose to respond with awareness. Instead of getting angry, defensive or hasty, you recognize the space between stimulus and response. In that space, you have true freedom. The moment you stop unconsciously reacting, you enter conscious power. Yogananda. 2. You are calm in the midst of change. The world may change. People may change. Plans may fall apart. But you are not crushed inside. Not because you are numb, but because you know what is real, and what is just a ripple on the surface of the pond. 3. You act not from lack, but from inner fullness. You no longer work to be accepted. You do not love to not be abandoned. You do not seek to prove your worth. You work, live, love from inner fullness, from what Yogananda calls the never-ending source of inner happiness. 4. You can sit alone, and not feel lonely. Because you have reconnected with the divine presence within you. No need for fulfillment. No need for validation. A person with true inner strength accepts himself as a complete temple. 5. You become simple, but not ordinary. No complications, no noise, no need to stand out. You live gently, but whoever touches you feels something deep, solid, unforgettable. Simplicity of soul is true wealth. Yogananda. How to maintain that strength in a world that is always pulling you away. Yogananda does not teach you to run away from the world. He teaches you to live in the world, without losing your identity. Remember 3 anchors every day. Meditate early in the morning, even if it is only 5 minutes. Breathe correctly, and be present before you let the world fill you. Ask yourself in moments of loss of control. Who is reacting? My ego, or my soul? A small act with great love. Send a blessing in silence. Forgive before you have a reason. Be grateful before you receive. Don't wait for everything to be okay to become strong. Happiness comes not from overcoming a challenge, but from how you face it. Paramahansa Yogananda. One of the biggest unconscious habits of human beings is to delay power. We tell ourselves, when I have more money, I will be safe. When I heal, I will be stronger. When others change, I will be happy. But that delay keeps you a victim of external conditions. Yogananda breaks that thinking with a profound principle. Inner strength does not wait for external conditions. It waits for you to turn inward and remember who you are. Reality doesn't have to be perfect, your consciousness needs to be awakened. Life is never stable for long. It is always shifting, challenging, demanding. True power lies not in creating comfortable circumstances, but in the ability to walk into unpleasant ones with a mind as steady as the ground. A conscious person can meditate in the marketplace, be peaceful in the noise, and love in the dry. Yogananda. The journey of awakening is right now, in what you are resisting. The pain you are avoiding is where you learn patience. The relationship you are enduring is where you learn unconditional love. The difficult situation is where you learn to live from within rather than from outside control. When you stop waiting for things to be okay to start living deeply, then you truly begin to live with your inner power. The secret of the awakened person, not doing big, but living deeply. You don't have to go far to find God. He is hidden in the way you pour water, the way you walk, the way you look with gratitude. Paramahansa Yogananda. Power is not about doing more. It's about doing each simple thing with the depth of your conscious awareness. In modern society, people associate the word power with influence, material achievement, leadership, prominence. But according to Yogananda, the truly powerful person is someone who knows how to live quietly without being weak. Someone who knows how to speak little but each word carries light. Someone who can be fully present without making an impression. Why is living deeply true power? When you live deeply, you are not easily carried away by other people's emotions. You do not react hastily because your mind is not in a hurry. You know what is real, what is just a shell of the ego. A small act of deep abiding has more vibrational power than 1,000 empty words. Practice living deeply like Yogananda. When eating, chew with gratitude, do not look at your phone. When listening to others, listen as if nothing else is important. When walking, feel each step as if you are entering Mother Earth. These are not small things. This is living meditation, where the soul returns to the body. 15 quotes that unleash the great energy from within. 1. You are not a body carrying a soul. You are a soul temporarily carrying a body. Paramahansa Yogananda. 2. Do not wait for light to come from outside. Light the torch within yourself. Swami Vivekananda. 3. You are a wave, but also an ocean. When you are still, you remember. Ramana Maharshi. For conscious breathing is the thread that connects you to the infinite. Every time you breathe mindfully, you are returning to God. Yogananda. 5. When you stop playing the victim, creative energy begins to rise from within you. Yogananda. 6. There is no barrier between you and God, unless you believe there is a barrier. Mahavatar Babaji. 7. Silence is the speech of the soul. In it all power is reborn. Ramana Maharshi. 8. You were not born to be small. You were born to remember your infinity. Swami Rama. 9. Man is not weak because he lacks power, but because he forgets that he has power. Yogananda. 10. Fear is darkness. The light of awareness dissolves it without a fight. Sri Aurobindo. 11. You need not seek the way. You are the way. Lao Tzu, in the spirit of Yogananda. 12. The more you let go of control, the closer you come to the source of infinite power. Yogananda. 13. Awakening does not come from learning something new, but from letting go of something unreal. Ramana Maharshi. 14. When you love unconditionally, you are operating at your highest level of energy. Paramahansa Yogananda. 15. Your soul is not wounded, you have just lived too long in the memory of your wounds. Yogananda. The journey of awakening is not a destination, it is a day-to-day return. You don't have to be perfect to be a powerful soul. You just have to come back, every time you forget. Yogananda. Don't wait for complete enlightenment. Don't wait for all your karma to be gone. Yogananda taught. Awakening to power is a journey of 1,000 returns, not a single explosion. You may forget to be light. You may react. You may fall back into fear. But each time you come back, you are a little stronger than before. And that is how the soul evolves. 3 core principles. I don't need to become someone else to be enough. I don't have to change the past to start over. I don't need permission from the outside to live from within. Conclusion: you are the eternal flame, not the passing smoke. Your soul cannot be harmed. It is only obscured by what you believe you are. Paramahansa Yogananda. The journey back to your inner power does not require you to climb mountains, go into retreat, or become someone great. It just requires you to stop. Stop believing in your own small story about yourself. Stop forgetting your breath, forgetting the sacredness of every moment of your life. When you breathe like a soul remembering the light, sit still like a Buddha observing the world, act like a friend of God, you no longer need to search for power. You are it. Power is waiting for you to come back, sit down, and see that you have never been weak. Yogananda didn't just say it. He lived it, and infused it into every breath you take right now. Om Shanti. Namaste.